I come to you this evening to deliver a presentation that I've been fortunate to share with more than 80% of my students since coming to SUNYPotsdam in 2017. Now, rather than provide you with a presentation of antidotes, approaches, and case studies of results, I've decided to share with you what many of my students have been exposed to, whether in the classroom, in an advising, or even in a mentoring session. I was compelled to craft such a message because I understood that we served a very particular constituency, a constituency that needed encouragement, a constituency that needed their spirits to be lifted, a constituency that needed a message of hope. This message was relevant before the COVID-19 pandemic, and is even more relevant now, as it continues to form the base of my teaching approach, and that is coaching business. So like my many students, I humbly ask you this evening to come with an open mind and a receptive heart. Much of what I'm going to say is going to be displayed on the screen in front of you, giving you the opportunity to make notes if you so desire. In her book, Insight, organizational psychologist Tasha Eurich tackled an important subject that many of us believe we have answered, but we have not. And that is self-awareness. By analyzing people who have drastically improved their self-awareness, and by analyzing hundreds of studies, she explains why we have this blind spot and how to change. She argues that we should focus on the what as opposed to the why. Self-awareness is critical for career success. People who are self-aware do better at work. They get more promotions. They lead more effectively. Companies with self-aware professionals have shown stronger financial performance. And so in a series of surveys, Eurich found that 95% of people think they are self-aware, but only 10 to 15% truly are. This brings us to an important quote from none other than Albert Einstein, who said that you can't solve a problem at the same level it was created. This statement implies that we have to go to a deeper level to find the answers to our problems, to the questions that we have. I will posit here that our lives are a sum total of all the choices that we make. And so the question then becomes, on what basis are we making these choices every day? I contend that it must be on an understanding of who we are, why we're here, where we're going, where we're from, and what we can do. I want us to ponder on some thoughts for a moment. That every human being was born in this world for a reason. As a matter of fact, there are 7.9 billion people that are asking these questions right now. Dr. Miles Monroe, he was leader of the Bahamas Faith Ministries. He died a few years ago. He wrote many books on passion and the pursuit of purpose. He called these the questions of the human heart. These questions control everything we do. We wear what we wear because of these questions. We go to work because of these questions. We get stuck in traffic trying to get to a place called a job because of these questions. These questions control our economies, our environment, our families. These questions are the reason why a young man would join a gang or fight for a pair of sneakers. These 5 questions control everything we do. These questions are the reason why a man who considers himself wealthy would join certain golf clubs or drive certain cars. These 5 questions control everything you do, whether you live under a bridge, in a cardboard box, or in a castle by the lake. These 5 questions, if you don't get them answered, you will never live a full life, and yet everyone is asking these questions. First question, who am I? Do you know that 99% of people on earth have not answered this question? Yes, this is a very audacious statement for me to make. But the reason why is because it's a question of identity. Why? Because our cultures does not allow us to be who we are. The world wants to make us who it wants us to be, and when we move away from that, we become an irritation to society. That is why we have not dealt with this question. Where am I from? This may seem like a very simple question, but it's not, because it has nothing to do with racial or ethnic background. Why am I here? Why do I exist? Why am I on earth? What did I come here for? Is there a reason for my life? Fourth, what can I do? 98% of Earth's population will die without knowing their true ability. Scientists have proven that we only use 10% of our brain, but look what we have done. We have built cities with only 10% brain power. Where am I going? Where is my future address in life? So the first question, who am I, is a question of identity. The second, where am I from, is a question of heritage. Third, why am I here, is a question of purpose. What can I do, is a question of potential. And the fifth question, where am I going, is a question of destiny. These 5 questions control the entire human race. This is why a man would work 2 jobs, abandon his kids, and frustrate his wife because he's trying to find his identity. By doing what? By trying to compete with people, to buy toys like fancy cars and nice clothes so that he could feel accepted because he doesn't feel he has an identity. It's the same reason why a young woman would sell her body to get money, to buy clothes, so that she could feel important, because she is struggling with, who am I? Why am I here? Where am I going? Where am I from? And what can I do? So people do dumb things to try to answer these questions. Here is what I believe. I believe that you and I were created to live a life of meaning, that no one came to this planet as an experiment, that ignorance of purpose does not cancel purpose. Author of Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, wrote 17 scrolls for how to attain success. The first scroll he titles, Definiteness of Purpose. Here is what he says. He says, definiteness of purpose is the starting point for all achievement. He goes on here to say, he says, don't be like a ship at sea without a rudder, powerless and directionless. Decide on what you want. Find out how to get it, and then take daily actions towards achieving your goal. He ends that scroll by saying successful people move on their own initiative. But hear what? They know where they're going before they start. Every semester I ask students, if you're going down the New Jersey Turnpike, how do you know which exit to take? You know which exit to take because you know your destination, because you know where you're going. If I asked you this evening, how many of you got into your cars to drive without knowing where you're going? Not very many of you could respond in the affirmative. Until you discover your personal reason for being born, your life will be unfulfilled, and you will live your life as an experiment, trying this and trying that and trying this. And here is a statement that I want you to focus on, that I always make, that the greatest tragedy in life is not death. It is life without purpose. That a stillborn baby is better off than a man who has lived his entire life and never found out why he came. And I say to my students, you are not born to chase after grades and accolades and pay bills. That there is nothing worse in life than the death of a dream. But there is something worse than being blind, and that is sight. Being sight without vision. That there are people who have sight or who have eyes, but they can't see. Every semester, students would come to me and they will say, Professor, I want you to help me. Should I do this course or that course, or should I focus on this major and that major? And I will say to them, I want you to close your eyes. And through your mind's eye, tell me how you will see yourself in 5 or 10 or 15 years, and many of them can't do it. They can't do it because there are people who have eyes but can't see. They have no vision for their lives. They have no purpose. Here is a thought that I really want you to focus on. That the wealthiest place on earth are not the gold fields of South America. It's not the oil fields of Iraq, Iran, or Kuwait. It's not the diamond mines of South Africa. That the wealthiest place on earth are the cemeteries. Because in the cemetery are books that were never written, songs that were never sung, poetries that were never recited, businesses that were never started. The graveyard is filled with dreams that died as nightmare, with visions that never became a reality. That if you could mine a cemetery, like you could mine a gold mine, that you will be a wealthy person. I say to my students, don't take your wealth to the graveyard. The graveyard is filled with awesome treasure I call potential. Let's define it. It is defined as untapped power, hidden strength, unused ability, unused success, dormant power. I remember one night I was teaching a data management class and a student rose to his feet and he said, I feel I can run through walls right now. Potential is who you are, but no one knows it as yet. It is how far you can go, but you have not gone there as yet. It's what you can do, but you have not done it as yet. So that the minute that you do something, it ceases to be your potential, because potential is never what you have done. It's always what you can do, but you have not done it as yet. I say to my students, we must not die with any treasure in us. We must die empty. We should never die old. We must die finished. We must finish our purpose. That a graveyard should never get a dream that you were born to deliver to generations. Because potential is the accomplishment you are yet to achieve, so that when you do something, it ceases to be your potential. So I say to them, I'm never interested in what you have done, but only in what you can do. There is much more in you, but you need faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not yet seen. But sometimes I say to them, you need crazy faith. Thoughts and action that lack reason, but trusting solely in what you cannot explicitly prove. Don't allow the facts that you want erode the faith that you need to allow things to work in your life. Because you can't see what is inside a person doesn't mean it's not there. This inability causes us to ignore the universe, and we do this all the time. I say to my students, it takes work to release your potential. If you want to fulfill purpose, you have to work. That the future of everything is already within it. Your future is not ahead of you, it is hidden within you. Watch this. If I had a mango seed from again and I asked you this evening, what do you see? Most of you will reply, a seed. That is a fact, but it's not true. Let's look at this. A fact is defined as the description of the present state of a thing. Truth is defined as the true reality of a thing. So yes, in my hand I have a mango seed from Guyana. That is a fact, but it's not true. The truth is that I have a mango tree, because the tree is trapped in the seed. That is called potential. But guess what? The truth really is that I have a mango grove or a forest, because hidden in every bird is a flock of birds, in every cow a herd, in every fish a school, in every boy a great man, in every girl a great woman. This is why I say to my students, we should never ignore anyone, because we do not know what they are filled with. We do not know their potential. Your purpose precedes your plans. It's the most important thing that you need to discover. Let's define this for a moment. It is the original intent for its existence. It is the reason for the existence of a thing. It's the desired result in the mind of the manufacturer. It is the motivation for creating the product. It is the source of the destination established by the manufacturer. Your purpose is your why. Every time I say to them, you ask the question why, you're asking for the purpose of a thing. Because purpose gives you meaning and a reason for breathing. Purpose is the end that started the beginning. It is the finish before the start. It is a destination before the journey. It is the final address in your life. Purpose is the reason for your birth and the meaning for your existence. I want to conclude now with 4 principles on how to understand purpose. Purpose is found in everything. The cockroach, mosquito, all have a purpose. Not every purpose is known. But ignorance of purpose does not cancel purpose. Where purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is unavoidable. When we use drugs in the hospital, it's called medicine. On the streets, it's called dope. In the hospital, it gives you health. On the street, it destroys you. So that when you abuse purpose, it self-destructs. Purpose begins to give you discipline to help you to protect your body and your mind. So that when you understand purpose, it protects you from abuse. So students will say, Professor, that is great. So how do I find my purpose? I say to them, your purpose is hidden in your passion. They said, yes, that is great, but how do I find my passion? I say to them, your passion is hidden in your gifts and in your talents, and it's pulling you towards your destination. Thank you.